I started going gray at 19, so that's when I started getting my hair colored. I started off with some blonde highlights, and then in 2017, I decided to go full blonde. And just for some context, my natural hair color is a fairly dark brown. At the time, I was in school, so my hair was about the only thing I spent money on outside of my living expenses. To make it as affordable as possible, I tried to stretch out the time in between sessions and went to a mid-level chain salon. I realized I was sacrificing some quality, and I was totally willing to accept that, but I also was super lucky that when I first started going to the salon, I was scheduled with a very talented stylist who I went back to over and over again, and I always had great results. Well, she ended up moving into a nicer salon, and after she left, they scheduled me with a brand new stylist. While chatting with the new stylist, she let me know that she was fairly new to the profession, which was absolutely no big deal. She had my notes from my old stylist, so she had an idea where to start, and my hair wasn't very complicated. So she did my hair for the first time, and although it took a little longer than it had with my previous stylist, about 3 hours, it came out great. She had styled it down with some curls, and I left very happy. The next day, I put my hair in a ponytail, and I noticed that she had completely missed my sideburns. Because of the growth in between sessions, my sideburns looked completely untouched, and with my natural dark brown hair, it completely contrasted with the rest of my blonde hair. There was nothing I could do in that moment, so I just laughed it off, and I looked at the online scheduling system to see when that stylist would be in next so I could get it fixed. Luckily, she was in that day, and it looked like she had a bunch of open slots, so I figured it would probably be easiest to go down to the salon myself and explain the situation. I got to the salon, and I explained the mishap to the receptionist, and she went and got the stylist. I asked the stylist if she could fix it real quick by just coloring my sideburns to match the rest of my hair, and she told me that it would take quite some time and she would only be able to process and tone that hair, but not style it, as that would be an added service to my service from yesterday. I said, no problem, I have time now if you want, or I can come back tomorrow if that would be easier. She told me she could do it right then, as she didn't have any other clients, and she fixed up the sideburns in about 30 minutes. Once she washed out the toner, I went to the register to leave her a tip on my card as a thank you. When I asked the receptionist how that would work, she kind of just gave me a weird look and brought up my ticket. I was surprised because in my mind, I had already paid for this service, but I was being charged literally the exact same amount as I had been the day before. I thought this was wrong, so I voiced this to the receptionist, and she went and got the stylist again. The stylist came back up and said I had to pay for the service she had provided, and I was like, yeah, I totally understand, but I thought what I had paid for yesterday would include all of my hair being done, including my sideburns, and it seems like I'm paying for this service twice. She then told me if I was unhappy with my hair yesterday, that I should have said something then, and since I didn't, I was responsible for paying again. And besides the fact that my hair was down when I left, so I didn't even see the undone hair, I thought it was a little bit ridiculous to charge the same exact amount for my sideburns as she did for my full head of hair, so I voiced that. The stylist defended herself by saying I could have just shaved off my sideburns if I didn't want to have to pay for them to be redone, and this seemed pretty ridiculous to me. So I asked if the manager was around so that we can clear things up. The manager was, of course, on the stylist side, and she even told me since the ticket was written up, there was nothing she could do except have me pay the full amount. At this point, I got the vibe that the stylist was kind of scared of the manager by the way that she couldn't even make eye contact with her. So I turned to the manager and I said, I'm very sorry. I am totally willing to pay for the extra 30 minutes of work, but I am straight not paying twice for this service. I'll just go ahead and give corporate a call and explain the situation. What's your name again? And man, did that shift her attitude. Suddenly, she was able to change the ticket to reflect only the 30 minutes of work the stylist had done, but I was going to call corporate anyway, and I did. I explained the situation to them, purposely not mentioning anybody's names so that no one got punished, and miraculously, they told me that I in fact did not have to pay and they would handle it internally. So I left the store and I never went back there again to get my hair done. And I only feel bad because a brand new stylist should not feel bad for making silly mistakes. And I absolutely would have tipped her if they had given me a chance to run my card.